I am so bad when it comes to starting a new project or a new hobby and continuing to follow through with it. So what usually happens is I'll start out really strong. I'll be so excited. And I super suffer from shiny object syndrome. I also have unmedicated ADHD, which means I'm super creative and super inconsistent. And those two things are not friends, especially if you want to be successful at something. But I have learned a thing or two about having ADHD and being consistent. If you are trying to start a new project or a new hobby or a new something, here is my number one piece of advice to help you be successful. Number one is that long-term success and change takes time. It is not exciting. And because of that, we don't get as big of a dopamine hit. You're starting a new hobby and you're wanting to start like an Etsy shop for it. And you're finding it was easier to keep your momentum and consistency in the beginning. But now that you're 2 or 3 weeks in, it's not as exciting anymore. The dopamine hit that we get from doing something new is what helps us with that motivation in the beginning. But when it's not as new anymore, that motivation is going to start winding down. So what I do before I start any kind of hobby, I'll be realistic about what I'm writing down, but I will start with like all the steps that go into building and maintaining this hobby, like an Etsy shop, for example. So I write out a list from top to bottom, and I will start crossing off the things that I cannot realistically do right now on a consistent basis, whether that's a daily basis or a weekly basis. If it's just not in my wheelhouse to be able to do that right now, cross it off the list. The idea is not to be super pessimistic, but it's to kind of get you grounded, to be realistic about what you can do. So eventually, once you cross things off that list, you're going to be left with like several things that you can do. And it's probably not going to be exciting things. The great news is that consistency is not built off of excitement. And us ADHD folks out there just have to accept that. That's hard. It's not exciting. We don't get a dopamine hit from things that are not exciting. But once you go down that list and you're left with the handful of things that you can do, that is where you need to spend your time. We're using the example of an Etsy shop. What you should do at that point is take the things on the list that you can do. Give that to something like GPT, for example, and say, hey, GPT, I'm wanting to open an Etsy shop. There's a lot of things that I can't do, but here's like 4 things that I feel like I can do. Can you give me some kind of schedule to be able to do this? Boom, you're done. It has a starting point for you. That took you about 30 minutes max to do the list, to narrow everything down, and to get a plan in place and a schedule. If you want to make this process more exciting, create a daily checklist for whatever hobby, this Etsy shop, for example. You can ask GPT, give me a daily checklist for what I need to be doing for my Etsy shop. Have it give it to you, print that out, write it down. You will get a little bit of a dopamine hit whenever we cross it off the list. Anyway, my name is Taylor. I'm a therapist. I'm a mom. Also have ADHD. I hope this video was helpful for somebody out there, and good luck with that Etsy shop or whatever hobby you are thinking of pursuing.